Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Bart as I'm setting up here. Today's drink of choice is Alka-Seltzer Cold Formula and mixed with Orange Crush. Hey, don't knock it. It actually helps. Having a kind of a rough day breathing-wise, so bear with me. Okay, where we last left off on this project, I'll actually play it in standalone mode. Yes, I also have a fresh cup of coffee. Kind of want to hurry up and finish up a good test map with enough stuff in it to where people can come in, we can do some multiplayer testing, and that way we can see that everything's working correctly and whatnot. I can start bringing in. I need to probably bring in the nature pack a little bit sooner than later because I'm replacing foliage and I need a bush. I don't have a bush. Alright, so God, that took a while. I actually had to put a crafting bench in here, and I'll cover a little bit of that here in just a moment. Of the existing crafting bench, if you hit tab and look at your crafting recipes that you have right off the bat, the crafting bench that I added in as a recipe, there wasn't one, so there was no way for you to actually make a crafting bench. Well, I put in one. It requires 10 logs, and it doesn't show that you can actually create it. So I'm going to grab a couple bushes here. Yes, they're just trees that I shrunk down, and those are just the Polygon City trees that I made larger. So I'm going to need to bring in the nature pack. So now I can create a wood axe, which is just currently one wood. So I'll chop down one of these trees. The recipe that I set up for the crafting bench was for 10 logs, but I'll go ahead and create a campfire, let it go ahead and do its thing. And I have to have a crafting bench to craft the furnace. So I'm going to go ahead and craft a crafting bench. So let's put a campfire in here, and okay, crafting bench is done. You see, got a description on it. It works when you craft it. Everything is nice. So let's put down our campfire, and you hit the R key to allow you to rotate items for placing. So if I come over here and I want to craft a furnace, well, I don't have any stone. It says requires crafting bench. Okay, no problem. So let's go over here and chop a rock. Of course, you're going to get a lower pickup rate on this as you would with a regular pickaxe or the repair hammer. Welcome, 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 welcome. But using this does actually work. It will get you some stone with this pickaxe. It takes a while with this pickaxe to deplete one of the rocks. But currently there's no recipe to craft the regular pickaxe or the repair hammer. So I come over here and I want to craft a furnace. I'm crafting, and it requires a crafting bench. Okay, no problem. So there we go. But if I want to craft a metal bed, I need iron bars. Okay, well, let's craft this. We got that. I'm going to go ahead and put down my furnace. Let's put it over here. Rotate it a couple times. So I'm going to need to come up with some items to replace a lot of this stuff with. I'm actually going to split it and put half of it in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and put all my wood in there. And there we go. Turn it on, and I'll go cut some more wood down. But I need to put in here enough wood for, people to chop down trees or whatever they need to in order to be able to craft things. As a test, I will probably end up putting just wood as spawn items sitting on the map, so you can actually go ahead and just pick them up. So we're going to check here. This requires 10 iron bars, so we got 6 already. So we just want to wait until we get 10 of them. Drinking it like that, yeah, I mixed orange crush with Alka-Seltzer tablets. You know, little ones that plop plop fizz fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Well, damn things actually work, so. But instead of mixing them with water, I mix them with orange crush. And I got the orange zest flavored Alka-Seltzer. Alright, so let's take that. Let's go back to my crafting bench. And I want to craft a metal bed. Now it says requires crafting bench. And it won't let me do it. I'm standing at the crafting bench. I hit the key to use it. Hit E for the crafting bench. And it is not letting me craft the metal bed. But if I come over here and do it, now I can create it. So why is it that whenever I use a recipe to actually craft a crafting bench, it doesn't allow me to actually build it? It's building the exact same item that I'm putting down, so it's not like there's an issue with something else there. So I can put down a bed and name it. Call it the Beefalo bed. So now you can see set respawn Beefalo bed. And there we go. So now if I die, I will respawn there. I just put a blank terrain out, so it's good enough. And you can see that I have greatly slowed down the hunger and thirst system on here. The original from the download from the marketplace, it was way too fast. And I believe I've got the sound attenuation fixed. You can hear here, but what was happening is you could be on the other side of the map over there, and you could actually hear the damn sounds. If I try to eat an apple, you could hear that on the other side of the map. You should not be able to. And actually, the sound replication on that should not be replicated on eating. You should not hear somebody else eat whatsoever, much less on the other side of the map. So everything is working. I got a packaged version that I had linked in a Discord chat earlier, but it doesn't contain this map and doesn't have these trees activated. So what I'm trying to do is go through. I've also replaced the pistol that was quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here, a 1911, but it showed the image of Beretta M9. So I've changed that weapon over to look like a 1911 now. Use the one from the Polygon Heist pack. But I think what I need to do for right now is just populate this map with a few more spawn points. For one, Control C, Control V. It's so challenging to do that. So I'm going to put 4 spawn points here. And just because there's only 4 spawn points doesn't mean only 4 people can join. Currently right now I've got it set up to where 100 people can join. I don't think we're going to have 100 people joining in on my pathetic internet service. So do a save all, and let's look at some of the other items here. I'm going to spawn some other items. Actually, I want to go ahead and start looking at, yeah, I'm just going to spawn some items. Go to blueprints, and don't need their elevators. Effect zones, drink zone. What I'm probably going to do is just come over here, since this is actual landscape. I could come in here and do this. Got my sculpting tool, and I don't need you to be that freaking large. And just come over here and new Hold down the shift key, you dumbass. And let's just sink that down a little bit. I'm going to do the flatten tool. So now I can just make a... It's actually probably a little bit too deep. But I just wanted to have somewhere that I could create a little pond. So that's good enough. Using a smoothing tool so I don't mess with the materials once I decide to put a ground material on. So let's go back to this mode, and we have the drink zone. We can put that in there. And I've never used this before, so I don't know how it's going to work. But I would assume you would just place that into the area where you want it to go. And I'm just going to make sure it's covering the whole area, like so. And then I would imagine we would need some kind of... Is there anything for water? Oh, well, we have water. We can use the Synty Studios water. So let's go up to Polygon City. I know there's a water in there. And meshes, environmental. It's going to be rather large. As you can see. Yikes, that's just a little too much. So I'm actually going to try something different. I don't want that much water, you know. Could probably go ahead and just use, would imagine they would have it in, where's their materials? You guys got questions, just shout them out, you know. But I would like to get this, you know, a playable map so we can do some testing on it. Effect zones, foliage components, foliage types. Yeah, see, I want to change these around. So I come in here and I could change, like this is a leafy ground cover. I want to change those out, but I'm probably going to end up putting the nature pack in just so I can have a little bit nicer foliage that matches with the Synty Studios, you know, the Polygon assets. Well, what the hell? Where am I going to find their water? So I know they had a water in here. Let's look at their materials. Because I can always just put a plane in and add the water texture or material. Well, I got a water bottle and water bottle lid. Okay. You know what? We'll just make do. I will grab a plane and raise that up. Actually, no, they do have a I thought there was an actual water. The world items. Because they've got it in their demo map. Yeah, well, screw it. Like I said, I'll put the a plane in here. Yeah, I know there was the water was in there, but I'm not sure where they got their materials from and all that stuff, unless they were just using the one from the water bottle. And that's all I'm going to do for right now. Is just going to go ahead and make sure that it extends and covers the entire area of the plane here. And I need to make sure that the material is set to no collision, so you can actually walk into it. And let's look at the materials and their materials. Let's look in effects and material instances. Negatory, so I'm just going to use the I'll just use that one. So there you go. So I'm actually going to play in selected viewport, so it's faster to load up. So now if I walk over here, I should be able to walk into that, and it should be a drinkable plane. So yeah, you drink water. Yep, and it works. So there we go. Hey, Dum-Dum, how come you haven't converted the characters yet? Doing a Synty Studios doing a basic animation was quick and easy. You only got a couple animations. Here's my blend spaces that I'll have to convert. And for some reason, they have first-person animations. Here's the animation montages, no problem. I have to convert all of these animation montages. And I have to convert the third-person animation blueprint that they're using here. But let's take a look at it. Alright, so they're not using a default, they're using one that they worked on. Melee swing events, event graph. So yeah, this is definitely not a default animation blueprint. So this is going to cover a lot of the animations if I just retarget this. Definitely want to have my own unique skeleton before I start retargeting, instead of using just the city one or whatever. That way I can have my own unique. And what I always do is under characters, I create a folder called mesh. Then I'll take the character, one of the skeletons, and in this case right here, I'll grab the one from the Polygon City. I'm going to drag it into the mesh folder, copy, go to that folder, and I'm going to rename that my poly underscore skelly. So now I actually have a skeleton that's set up for that. And they're using the default UE4 mannequin for everything. So what I would end up having to do is come in here and go to my mesh. Just like before, I want to select humanoid rig. And then I want to modify my pose. Again, nice and simple. Rotate the arms up 50. The lower arm, rotate down 10 and back 20. And then the hand, rotate up 10. Super simple. I played around with this quite a bit, trying to come up with the best setting for doing this, and this just seems to work the best. And then I'm going to hit modify pose, use current pose, and save. So now if I come back in here, it's going to, oh no, it's back in the Y pose. Well, I can hit the modify pose, actually the view pose, and it shows my T pose again. So want to have that, and then let's hit save all. It's going to save my map and that little skeletal mesh thing. It's not going to be as clean as I want it to be if I just run an animations folder like this. I don't necessarily need this one because it's called third person animation blueprint. When they created theirs, if we look in their animation folder and animation blueprints, they called it third person anim. They took off BP at the end. So it's third person anim versus, oh, and I just did the wrong one, because they're using, in a survival game kit, they're using their character right here. So I almost screwed that up. And like I said, sadly, they're running first person animation as well as third person. So I have to go back into this one and do the same thing. I'm going to select humanoid rig, and I want to go ahead and up 50, back 20, down 10, up 10. Very repetitious, but once you do it, you know, a few times, it becomes second nature. So you can actually look at it now. No, you didn't move. Now you did. And I'm going to go ahead and modify pose, use current pose. But if you look, the arms are straight now, and the hands are straight. Everything is good to go. So now if I hit save, the skeleton that I put in here does not have a preview mesh assigned to it just yet. What we're going to have to do is go over to our Polygon Heist and Polygon City. I'm going to start off with City. Go to my characters, and I'm going to select all of the skeletal meshes. And for any of the Synty Studios asset packs that you add in, once you've created your own skeleton like that, all you have to do is select the skeletal meshes from that asset pack, all of it at one time, go to your skeleton, assign skeleton, and now Polyskelly, the one that I renamed and made my own version of, and just hit escape. You'll have to do that once for each of them, but if you have them all selected at one time, then at least you know that whenever this stops popping up, you're done. So just about finished with this. There we go. And then I will save all. And now all of these skeletons are now mapped to, or these skeletal meshes are mapped to my skeleton that I created. And now I can do the same thing with the Polygon Heist characters. I'm not going to do it right now, but all you would do is the same thing. You just select all your skeletal meshes and then assign skeleton, and there you go. So like I said, I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to go ahead and start converting some of this over. So I'm going to go to animation blueprints, and I'll start with third person anim, which is, like I said, if you look at the normal third person animation blueprint, it'll actually say third person anim BP. So all they did was drop BP off the end and added all their cool stuff into it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the animation blueprints, and now right click, retarget animation blueprints, blah 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 blah, that stuff, and we're going to retarget to, nope, we're going to cancel. We have to go back to our skeleton that we created. Now we see we actually have a preview mesh. We have to hit apply to asset and then save. Now when we come back in here to animation blueprints, right click, retarget. I don't know if you caught that, but there was nothing over here on the target side even after I selected Polyskelly, because we didn't have a preview asset, a preview mesh. So now that we got that, we can go ahead and rename it from third person underscore, and then so replacing everything in that with poly underscore anim BP, and I'm going to change the folder that it goes to there. Now what's going to happen is whenever I click OK, it's going to retarget every single solitary animation that's in and linked in that animation blueprint is going to go into that one folder, and it's going to be messy. So you can see now we have all these animations, and we're all good to go. However, that's not all of the animations that we need. Our animation blueprints in there, and all the associated animations that we need. However, we don't have the animation montages. They didn't get converted at the same time. So I'm going to have to go through and I'm going to have to retarget all of these guys here to that same skeleton. So with the animations, I need to go ahead and create another one, which is going to be animation montages. It would just be easier. Anim montage. So now I can go in here to the animation montages, and let's see if I can do this as a batch. I'm going to grab all of these except for the ones that I see. There's 3 of them that are first person, which those are just a matter of having arms only. I hate first person animations. They're pointless and worthless for a 3D actual multiplayer game. So with all these selected, right click, retarget, and select Polyskelly. I'm not going to change the names of them at all. A couple reasons for that, and it'll become evident as I kind of screw around with it. So now I can go to my folder that I created and hit retarget. So now those are done, and it did the animation montages and the animations that it needed for those montages. Because what we're going to run into now is when I come over here to player. Now, I'm not using my usual. We're using their character. So if I go to BP Survival Character, if you look at the mesh, you got these you don't have to worry about. These are skeletal mesh components. Those are going to be interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to work. They don't have a specific skeletal mesh, but what they are is essentially they're components of, and then you've got these hitboxes that are set up for the individual pieces. So if I were to just go in here right now and select, I don't know, male police, and the polyanim blueprint. Not bad overall. The head hitbox is absolutely just destroyed at this point. That's something I'll have to come back and mess with. I'm not going to mess with it just in case I need to convert it back. Because what's going to happen now is if I hit play, see, we've got it, and we can crouch, we can stand up, we can jump. Now if I come over here and harvest a bush and craft me an axe, I just tried to tell it to give me the axe, and the problem that I see here is we don't have all of the montages are not there. So we don't have the correct montages. What happens now is whenever you change that over like that, you're also going to have to go through and you got all these animation sequences. These are ones from the animation starter pack. Some of them have been renamed, looks like. And you got some SGK animations. Not worried about those just yet, but we have the aim offsets I'm not worried about just yet either. Blend spaces. So now, let's go back and we're going to have to retarget all of these blend spaces, because they weren't done at the same time as the montages. So you don't have the ability to see an animation when you're drawing your weapon out or your axe or whatever else out. So there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's do, we need blend spaces. So let's try doing that, see what happens. We need to grab our blend spaces, let's grab all of them. Right click, retarget animation asset. Polyskelly, change the folder. It's going to take a lot of screwing around to convert it all the way over. It'll be worth it in the long run because we'll have it and it'll be awesome. Now all these blend spaces have been converted. Now if we look in that folder, it didn't manually change over this time. Look at all the animations that it had to pull in there to get those blend spaces to work. So let's do a save all and let's go back in here and test to see if it's working now. You're going to have to do this trial by error. Yeah, I'm doing it, so you can kind of follow along. So I'll make a wood axe. Now I hit 1 and it doesn't equip it. Alright, so the next thing we have to look at, now that we've got all the blend spaces and montages done, let's go into, for example, holdables. Let's look at the pickaxe. This is the first one on the list here. Open full blueprint editor. Now if you look, you've got animation. You see, it's referring to whenever you're doing this, you've got your melee montage and FP and TP. So what we want to do here is we're going to end up having to change those. We'll start with that. But we get holdable settings, and there you go. And anywhere you see animations referred to, alright, so nothing in that one. So I see 4 total so far that we have. We'll start with those 4. And now you see, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, because my beautiful face is covering it. But up in this corner right here, which I'll go ahead and make it even harder to see, but right there you've got animation montage. It's called attack_1_axe_montage. Because I did not change the name of them when I retargeted them, all you have to do is now you'll see 2 of the same name. You already have one selected, so select the other one, and that converts it over to the one that is the one that we created. And that should, in theory, compile and save. Now, whenever we go into our map and let's go over here, craft our axe. Now if we hit 1, it didn't work. So when you're trying to make other people's assets work together, yeah, see, I can't select and unselect. So, yep, that's broke. So now we got to figure out what else we can do here. We can see right here where it's referring to that for those 2 animation montages. So we're going to have to look through all the stuff in here to try to find any more references to animation montages or things of that nature. So look at the viewport. That's our pickaxe, and there's I don't know why there's a camera attached to it, but okay. Hey, I didn't make this stuff. I'm just trying to make other people's stuff work together. And I don't like doing that because you run into all sorts of issues. We're going to look in weapon settings. There is no animations there. We've retargeted these animations. Movement. No. So yeah, I'm going to have to go through each of these individually and try to find any references to any animations and make sure that they work correctly. So we've got those 4 taken care of, and those are pointing in the right direction, but there's still something missing somewhere. And that's setting your limit. So if I'm hitting a tree, I can get between 5 and 10. If I'm hitting a rock, I get between 1 and 2. So if I wanted to, I could change that value right there. We'll change that to 3 and 5, whatever. So, yeah, there's still some stuff we're missing here and there. I guess I could look through this way and pick through everything. But normally under the main component is where you're going to find these listed. And it's under class defaults. Yeah. I don't see anything directly in here on the animations systems themselves. So this is why I have not done this already to convert characters over. Just simply because it takes a while to actually go through and sort through all this stuff. There's nothing in there, so it's going to be just kind of like that. Cost of repair, what socket it goes to, any attachments, movement. You would think that that would have something to it. That's just the movement speeds. Does not help me out any. Alright, so I'm not even 100% that was the correct axe, but I'm assuming that it is. So I'm actually going to close that one and look in here. There's not going to be any other references to any other animation stuffs that I know of. Player inventory components. So storage upon yourself, that is. Here's your health setting, stamina, your hunger system, thirst. All this is in there. Starting items. You have nothing in your starting items. So if you wanted your player to start off with the pickaxe in his hand, I guess I could do that. Add an element. And we'll be able to pick out what the item ID is, the count, the index, and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Again, it's movement speed, resources, ADS. Yeah, there's nothing going to be in here that I need to look at. So I'm going to have to go through every single solitary item and look for... See, I've got unequip right here, but where is the equip? I see that in other items as well. For animation, you have unequip. Let's see, that's attack. Harvesting. Melee weapon settings. And holdable settings right there. Ah, that's what we're missing right here. FP idle, FP, we're going to ignore the FP ones there. And there we go. FP crouch blend space. We should already have all these. You asshole. I click on the list, and again, because I didn't rename anything, all I have to do now is just look for the other one that's named exactly the same and just go to that. Idle Axe. Oh, complicated. It's so simple to do it this way, but FP Jumpstart Hands. Okay, we didn't do anything with first person animations, so I can skip that one because I can see it's just 2 arms. I know you guys can't see it, but that's what it is. So I can do jump loop hands here. Again, all I have to do is just click on the thing to open it up and find the other one that's named exactly the same. It's super simple. It's so simple that my old ass can figure it out, so you young guys, you ought to be able to figure this crap out easy. If my old ass can figure it out, then you guys should be able to do it. Alright, some more animations. It's referring to blend spaces, animations, animation montages. All those are here. Apparently, I don't see that one. TP Crouch Idle Axe. And it's not like right next to it, so that means that I obviously have not done that particular one yet. Crouch Idle Axe. So let's look through my animation, see what I've already done here. Crouch Idle Axe. Got Crouch Axe blend space. So apparently, was that actually missed? Because I see crouch stuff here. Crouch right and left axe. Or right axe. Crouch hands. So apparently that animation was not converted, and it wasn't in the blend space. So when you come across an instance like that, then it's just a matter of, well, if it's not here and it hasn't already been converted, then you're going to have to find it and convert it. So we are now stopped on Crouch Idle Axe. I'm going to go ahead and continue on, and then I will come back to that one. Or actually, let's go ahead and get it over with. Crouch Idle Axe. So we're going to go to animations. We have to find that individual animation. Alright, so crouch. Where are you? Crouch. Let's see. I know, it would be a whole lot easier if I just did a search right here. Crouch Idle Axe right here. So now all I got to do is just right click on that individual one, retarget animation asset. So I'll use my polyskelly, change the location, go to characters, and I guess it doesn't really matter where I put it. I'm going to shove it in the animations folder and then retarget. Now I want to come back in here. Let's go ahead and do a save all. Then we can come back into this. And now we have Crouch Idle Axe. So if you do that and you just keep on going down the list, you'll find them all. Jumpstart hands. Jump loop pins. Just take your time, go through it, and like I said, when you find one that isn't here in this list, then just find it and go make it happen. You know, you can also hit the little magnifying glass and it will take you right to it as well. I don't have the aim offset, so that I'm going to have to do. So we need to go to characters, new folder, aim, offsets, and go into here. I'm going to select the aim offsets for all of these, which are the kind of a light bluish color. So with those selected, should be able to right click, retarget animation assets, and do the same concept as before. And it should have done everything, and there we go. Save all. So those are covered now. And there it is. So now we should have all of our animations that we need for that. That's just for the axe. Then we'll have to go through and test it for everything else. So if I come over here, I'm going to harvest a bush, make a wood axe. We got it. We hit 1, and we're still missing something. Because whenever I hit 1, it did not actually work. See, I've started going down this path, so I need to finish. Let me go back to the holdables folder. And axe, that's where we're in. Shit. Alrighty then. I've got everything there except for the first person animations. So let's actually look at the character. Blueprint, characters. So you can see I've added in my escape menu functionality there. Character movement. Quick use. Quick use item, quick use item. Okay, that's for the hotbar. Rotate mesh. Lovely. That'll be something to look into later on. So, no, it's not in the character. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do here. Because I'm missing something somewhere for the equip and de-equip. So, on equip, I'm going to look in here and see if I can find that. Play equip animation is selected. So where the hell is the equip animation? It's actually saying play it, but where is it? All I see is unequip for a reference to it. So let's actually make sure that we have, we need to find a reference to that. And again, this doesn't make for very good viewing. I apologize, but like I said, when you're trying to make 3 different creators of assets into one project so far, Synty Studios and the this other game kit, mixing those 2 with my stuff, and so it's 3 different people's stuff that's being mixed together, and you're having to This is why I tell everybody, be careful with all your asset packs. Like, oh, I want this one. All the Synty Studios stuff, they mesh together and they work together. That's fine. All the Polygon stuff works together. But when you start adding in stuff like this survival template or other asset packs, you're going to have to spend some time learning how to incorporate their stuff with other people's stuff. But once I do this once, every asset pack that I bring in from Synty Studios is just going to work now, because will be going through all this suffering to get it to work with my skeleton. And all I have to do is just reassign skeletons so that, alright, yeah, I know you got to leave, and it's late your time, so. Yeah. I need to find the equip animation. Is what I need to find. And where it is, I don't know. The best thing I could have done for now is just not done this at all and just done like I said I was going to do and focus in on making the map and making it playable. And testing out other stuff instead of this. But this, it has to be done. I've just dreaded doing the damn thing. Usables. Save resources. Other. Damn. We've done the aim offsets. We've done the animation blueprints, except for first person anim blueprints, which I'm going to have to weed out and get rid of. I see an equip there and equip item here. So let's make sure that that is in my animation montages. And I would love to be able to just reorganize everything, but it kind of breaks stuff when you do it this way. Equip item right there. So there is an animation montage for that. So we just have to find the reference, since it's just saying right here, play equip animation. And that's where it's breaking. We don't see it actually drawing the weapon out or the item out. All the other montages here for this particular item, except for the first person stuff, is there. So ugh. Well, shit, and fall back in it. I just have to find the reference to that for the character. So let me see if that's actually in the character folder. If you guys have any idea of where it might be, let my ass know. Multicast events. So if I do this one right here, look, we got the mesh, and if I change this over, but that's not what I'm wanting to do here. Kill a character, bleed damage, multicast events. Movement. Begin play. So I'm trying not to zoom in on all this stuff, because this is their work. I don't want, someone to just look right at it and just be able to copy it. Yeah, it's not in that. And yeah, it's not going to be in that. Let's look at the actual blueprint for the character we're using. I just need to find where their reference is for that. And there's plenty of use item or item use. So I can double click on that, go to it, quick item use, and it's referring to the item by index. That's not going to help me. Server use item, target is BP inventory component. Then there's that. Then auto attach, but I don't see anything right off the bat that says equip item. Equipment, equip item. There's got to be something that references the actual animation. What animation to use whenever you're equipping the item. Play items, sound, multicast, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. No clue. The best possible thing I can say for right now is to undo everything that I've already done and go back to using the regular character. So that means have to undo all of these. You can eat a dick. And I can just go right back down the list. Same thing that I did before in reverse order. Hate to do it, but I'm going to have to spend some time, and this is going to take me a couple hours of probably sorting through crap, just trying to figure out what needs to be changed. But until I can figure that part out, there's no point in actually doing this. Idle axe. I have 3 of them for some reason. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit. And I don't feel like doing this right now. I've already wasted enough of everybody else's time watching this stuff, when I could have just been working on the actual map and testing things the way that I wanted to. So now, just need to go back up and re-undo these 2. Alright, compile and save. Now I just need to go back to my character and change the mesh back to I don't remember which one was theirs, so I'm gonna have to come over here and undo their animations. It's not in the blueprint folder. It is in the characters folder. Mesh and SK mannequin, so that I have that one selected. And now all I got to do is hit this, and then I can go back and find their animation, which was the third person anim without the BP at the end. So compile and save, and we should be back to normal again. There we go. And harvest a bush, create a wooden axe, hit 1, and there we go. So I'll get that working on my own time. I think what I need to focus in on is getting this going, get the map set up. I've got a little pond over here that has the water in it, and I can de-equip or put away my axe. Got the water, can drink. Got apples. I can actually right click on that and eat that, but you don't want to have to chop down a tree and hope you find an apple. So what I'll do is I'll populate this map with some stuff and convert a few more items over. But what I'll do is, since I pretty much just burned this friggin' hour of doing this and got nothing accomplished, I'm going to take a break, and then we'll take maybe about 10-15 minute break, and then I'll come back and I will pick up in the next stream. It won't let me continue it from there, so I'll go ahead and take a break, come back the next stream. I will actually do like I said I would and actually start populating this map. I'll put in some more trees, and the trees that I'm using here, I can do this and edit that. Open full blueprint editor, use sack of shit. So you see that's the tree that I'm using. I'll probably go ahead and add in the, well, I don't need to worry about it now. I was going to add in the nature pack, but I'll wait on that. For now, what I'll do is I will get everything set up, so whenever I come back, go to blueprints, and it was, which one was I actually deploying here? If I wanted to, I could actually come in here and change these out with ones from Synty Studios. What I actually did was hell, I don't remember what the hell I did. It wasn't in world items. I thought it was BP wood resource. Yeah, it's not showing me what it is here, but I gotta find which one I actually dropped into the map here. So I know it wasn't this, and I know it wasn't the foliage component, because you can't just drop that directly into the map. Resources, there it is. BP wood resource, and that's it. It's just one tree, and I don't want the same tree over and over and over and over again. Although, if I look at it here, so you got event begin play, and then you got the viewport. All it is just that one tree. I could set up the blueprint to, on begin play, randomize the size of the scale, or actually the mesh, so I could create some variation of it. They'll look the same until you actually hit play, and then come in. They actually have collision. I've got them scaled to 1.5. All I did was I added their tree in, but for now, just as a placeholder, I'm going to use that, and then just populate a buttload of trees around the edge of the map. I'll set up a blocking volume on the outside edge of the map, and I'll show that in the next video as well. And I'll start just putting some other random stuff in here, and we'll make it into a playable map. I will get it compressed, packed up, and uploaded to Google Drive, and we'll have a link available in Discord to play with your friends or play with yourself. No comment. Yeah. For those who are on the east coast of the North American server for Steam, I will actually host a game and we'll do some multiplayer testing. And if you want your friends to join you to test it out and give me reports back of what you think so far, it's horrible, it needs a lot of work, that kind of stuff. The way that this is being set up to work on Steam. My multiplayer template works on Steam, and it is region based. So if I'm hosting the game here in the North American server, a North American East Coast server, if you're on the EU server, you won't be able to join. Sorry. That's just the way it works. My game is being built for Steam, and that's why I set up what I've got. So, yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to take a quick break. And when I come back, like I said, I'll go ahead and populate this map. I'll put some kind of texture down, make it a playable map so that get in here and do some multiplayer testing and look at some new cool stuff. Alright guys, we'll see you back in about 10-15 minutes.